Welcome back to Crossbeats Production, and you're here with Nate28, and this is another comparison quick review of another limiter that I've found recently. So this limiter is called the wall. As per the name, it doesn't let a transient pass the wall, and that's the ceiling that it's created. So anyway, so what I found with this is some pretty cool features. It's a lot of stuff is basic to most compressor maximizers, limiter maximizers, I should say. It does have some other little features that I don't have on Ozone that I quickly will show you as well. But Ozone is the thing I normally use to master my tracks, and I find that I get some pretty good masters out of that. With the Maximiser, that's just a feature that I tend to go to. I usually use either of these three, IRC, IR2, IRC3 and IRC1, but this has no real, I guess, change. The only difference between the two is got a smooth feature and an aggressive feature. Between the two, I think they deal with transients maybe a little bit differently than each other. The other thing is it's got a flavor dial, which you can, I guess, kind of mix in, and that, from what I've picked up so far, it affects the way the low end and the top end kind of sound. That flavor, like I said, you can mix that in. The other feature, I guess, that it's got here is dithering, which is kind of standard to some limiters. Some of them don't have it. Dithering is on Ozone. As you can see there, it's got the dithering function, and you can go into there and change your dithering. This has just got a 8-bit, 16-bit, and a 24-bit dithering, or it's off altogether if you want. It's got a stereo link function, which basically stereo links the track itself. This is also in Ozone and probably in other limiter maximizer plugins. But this other feature that it has is oversample. Now, oversample basically just upscales the sample, or I guess oversamples the actual audio signal that you're putting into it. So that feature I think is quite cool. To my ears, I can hear the difference. It's hard to understand, I guess, how it all works, but with compression of audio signals, you start to lose certain bit rate withhin the audio signal. I'm not a pro by all means on this actual fact, but as far as I understand, with dithering, for example, you're adding in some noise to the signal to, I guess, so you can't hear the compressed part of the signal. So it sort of covers up certain parts of the signal. So oversampling, in a sense, is oversampling the original signal, timesing it by 2, timesing it by 4 or 8, or whatever the oversample amount would be, to increase the quality of the signal in that sense. So when you hear it, you know what I'm talking about. It does sound like your audio is clearer and more crisp. But more in depth on that, I guess you could research more about it. But anyway, I just want to explain how I believe that works. So it's got a bypass feature as well, and this thing called Sanity Checker. So Sanity Checker, from what I can see here, is a level matching tool. The level matching is basically when you pull down the threshold, it doesn't increase the volume overly. It just level matches exactly in the sense of, keeping the original level of the signal almost, and not increasing it, but increasing the way that the limiter is functioning. So it's basically crushing the signal. I'll just give you an example actually, so I can explain it to you in visual. So basically you're pulling down the threshold and you're starting to crush your signal and get the transients, the highest level transients crushing basically, and it's increasing the volume. But it doesn't increase the volume until you release the Sanity Check, and that Sanity Check is basically there so you can listen to the transients and how this limiter maximizer is affecting your transients. Now, that's a real good thing when you want to have a beat and hear exactly, how crisp and clear the sound is. So, for example, if I drag this down all the way, you can start to hear that there's a certain artifact, there's a certain distortion that's going on with the volume, because it's pushed down, basically completely crushed the transient of my kick, my snare, whatever it was crushing. So the low end is probably the first thing that's going to be affected the most. So anyway, the reason why I wanted to show you this is because I felt like this, for the price that you pay, is probably one of the best things on the market at the moment as far as a Maximiser limiter. I believe it's only $39 at this point, and I probably will purchase it, I guess, at some stage if I get around to needing another one. But at this precise moment, I use Ozone. But if you're looking for something that's really good as a third-party VST plugin, this is probably one of the better ones out there. I'm sure there's other ones out there, and people can comment about those in the comments, and they can tell me about exactly which ones they use and prefer, because, you know, you don't find out until you start to see other people and what they use and stuff like that. So that's why I think these videos are really crucial as well. So anyway, without further ado, I just want to show you how it works and show you what it sounds like and give you guys a demo of this and just maybe compare it to the Ozone plugin as well. So let's pull that threshold all the way back up and just start the signal playing right now. So just pay attention to the compression or the signal deduction amount, and look for about -3, -4, because that's kind of where I aim for. Alright, I'm going to take the sanity checker off. What I'll do now is compare the flavor, and I'll leave the sanity checker off. Now I'm just going to go between the smooth and the aggressive version of this so you can hear the difference. Try a bit of flavor on the smooth version. So that gives you kind of an indication of how this works. It's not a perfect mix by all means, but the limiter I feel works really well. It definitely has a clarity about it. If you're using it correctly and on a really good mix, and you're ready to start that mix. Like with this particular mix, I haven't got this plugin engaged yet, and I do use Multiband Compression, and I have used it on this mix, but because I disengaged it, I don't have that feature right now. But I just thought I'd use it on a, you know, moderately, maybe a 30% done mix, just to give you an indication of kind of what it sounds like, and just the way it works. So as I was saying, it has this oversample feature, which I'm just going to flick through to give you an indication of what that sounds like as well. And you can just have a listen to that. So I'll just turn it off, and then times by 2, times by 4. If you're listening really carefully and you know kind of what to listen for, then you'll hear the difference. It's hard to tell through a video on YouTube, but if you're listening at high definition on headphones, you might be able to tell the difference. I can tell the difference in my studio, but like I said, it's not always easy to know what you're listening for. So it's, to me, in my mind, it's such a great, I guess, a bargain if you want something that's third party, like I said. But anyway, let me just compare it between the Ozone plugin. I just might disengage my dynamics section here, and I'll just use this and we'll try and level match. Okay, so minus 15. So actually I didn't show you there. Down the bottom here, as you can see, I'll just highlight it now, but it's got the level down the bottom, and it was just down here, and it just tells you kind of other things here, like for example the limiter flavor and stuff like that. But what did we have? We had about minus 15.4. So just to be fair, we'll go minus 15. I have to type it in. Minus 15.4. All right, there we go. So we've got the same amount of limitation as this one, and we'll go minus 9 just to be fair on that. I'll leave it on IRC3 because I think that's probably going to be the clearest on that, and I'll leave the true peak limiting function on, and let's just compare between the two. So first off with the wall. Okay, so between the two, there is a difference in sound. I can hear it. I don't know if you can on the video. But like I said, if you're looking for something that's cheap, like with Ozone 6 or Ozone 7, I think that's what's out now, they're about 100 and something, or depends if you've had one previously. If you've had an Ozone product before, for example, Ozone 5 or Ozone 4, you do get a discount as far as I know, loyalty discount for at least Ozone 5 anyway. But, you know, if you're looking for something that's dirt cheap and you want something that's quite clear, I don't think you should go past this. If you like it, go demo it like I've done here. Check it out and see what you think. And, you know, compare between other ones. Like there are other ones, like I said, I've had comments before about other brands. So if you're interested in these, definitely go check out other limiters and do some research for yourself as well. But without further ado though, hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to thumbs it up and give me a like, subscribe, all that sort of stuff, and peace.